Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back with another episode of Locals Review. As a reminder, we are in the middle of a giveaway for hitting 100 subscribers. Once again, thank you for that. I will leave a link to the video where we are going to be doing the giveaway. All you have to do is like the video and leave a comment and be subscribed to the channel. And we will be picking a winner on Tuesday. So we are running a little fun game here. Brendan is on DoomZ, and I am running some Rescue Ace Ryziel. He opens with, I'm gonna be real, I don't know any of these cards, and I refuse to learn them because this deck isn't real. But he he goes Medius the Pure, trying to summon it from his hand. But that is definitely not the effect. The effect is if it's in the graveyard, he can send one of his cards from his hand back to the deck to summon it. So he's just gonna go normal summon. We have a hand of all hands. We got Tachyon, Emergency, Ascension, Sales, Prohibition. Is that what that was? Anyways, so he's gonna go Xyz summon into one of the monsters which equips, and it's going to go ahead and target something, destroy itself, and summon. But it's going to let him add a bunch of stuff. So this is a deck that he has enjoyed playing a lot, and I think this is his Genesis deck. And so he's going to add a bunch of cards that I'm not really sure what it does, but I know this deck ends up setting up a pretty crazy board uninterrupted, which is exactly what he's going to do here. But he's going to go ahead and equip a bunch of stuff. I think this deck is just Xyz and equip, and Brendan described it as a Xyz Unchained, where everything likes getting popped and it floats into the next thing. So instead of being linked, it's Xyz. There I am. Have no idea what this is going. So he sets up. We paused there. This deck eventually sets up like an Omnigate and also a Colossus, which I am not going to be able to play through a Colossus with that hand. We both don't have side decks, so we're just gonna go straight into game 2 here. But yeah, so opening the Ascension and the Tachyon and not being able to add is pretty detrimental. So we just scoop it up there. We're not even going to try playing here. So, like I said, we are on Ryziel Rescue Ace, which is a deck that I really like here. So we're going to start with Ascension, which is going to let us add Tachyon. And so we have a 1-for-1 Book of Moon, Turbulence, and a Rescue, which is actually a pretty great hand. But we're going to reveal Masquerade here. And so he's going to Ash. So I am not Xyz locked here, which is really nice, right? So we're going to go 1-for-1. We're going to send the Turbulence here. And so this is going to be fine, right? So the line here, we're going to add, I believe we add, what's it? Airlifter, right? Because Airlifter is going to be able to get us into some rank 4 plays here later on. But we're going to go Airlifter effect. It's going to go ahead and add us an Emergency. And then from here, we were thinking about how we need to sequence these plays, right? Because we need, in order dive into our Ryziel part of the deck, we are going to need to get rid of Hydrant and Turbulence. The Book of Moon is going to be kind of helpful, right? Because X Ryziel just says face up monsters, so you can have other monsters that are not, obviously, level 4s. But we're going to set 4 here, and we're going to go alert, add us the Preventer, just because this will be important in getting into our Ryziel plays. Because we are running an old school package that was run back in the day, I think pre Snake Eyes, but we are going to go into Proxy F. We're going to banish the Airlifter for the Preventer. And so we'll go Proxy F, Magician, Diffuse. We're going to fuse 2 fires of different types, which is going to let us go into a Mud Dragon. Mud Dragon is then going to, or Preventer effect, because it was sent to the graveyard, we can summon a level 4, which is going to give us 2 level 4s, and we can just go straight into Duo Drive. Brendan's like, oh man. So he's going to get to sit through a cutscene as well. So we're going to add X Ryziel, and then we're going to add Sword. And so from here, this is kind of nice, right? The emergency, we set an emergency off the set 4. We hadn't gone, this is me checking for emergency, right? So the nice thing is we can go emergency, we can send off the Hydrant, summon an Airlifter, which then frees us into X Ryziel being able to add after we summon itself. So we're going to X, we're going to send Aggregator, and so we can chain link, we can, not that we need to, right, because he already used the Ash. But that's going to let us add a node, just because we don't need ice here. Ice is just unnecessary, since we already used our normal summon, right? And then from here, so here we're considering, just because right now that Airlifter is going to be dead, but we don't play a ton of rank 4s. And so we can go Detonator to attach. It does not target, so we're going to attach the Aggregator there. And so we'll go Star Ryziel, send the Detached Sword, and that's going to let us add the field spell. There's not really a reason to add the quick play right now. But then from here, we can also summon out the node. We can then send the that's a glare of all times. So we have node here, which is then going to let us so we're going to target the sword here, and then we're just going to make a massive duo drive here. So we understand that a second detonator would go pretty dang hard. We leave the Airlifter on the field just so that way our traps are live, right? And so he's staring down double pop, monster negate. So he's going to use the effect, which is going to let him send a Medius from the deck to the grave. And then he's going to be able to look at the top card of my deck and determine whether he wants me to keep it on top to draw next turn, or if he wants to put it at the bottom here. Yep. So he's going to leave that at the top. So he's going to activate Assault to add a Medius to hand, but I am going to detonate or pop that, and so on Resolution, because it's no longer on the field, he does not get the add. Just getting another Medius is going to be too good, but he's going to go Medius effect to summon a Power Patron from the deck. Like I said, I don't really know a ton about the Xyz, this DoomZ part, but I am a little bit familiar with the Archmage, the fusion portion. And so it lets them summon out a, basically the Owl, but the Xyz version of it. And he's going to ash the emergency, which is unfortunate. But we are going to go ahead and let all of that go through. The extinguish is going to pop. And so we just pop the guy, and he's got that there. And so basically he's going to go Living Fossil or something. It's an equipped spell that is a Monster Reborn. And so we'll go Detonator to pop the guy from the graveyard. And then he's going to go Medius Secure. And then from here, he is... so he's explaining how this deck is still kind of built for Genesis. But what he can do is he can go Theorialize to target the Medius Secure to make it a Light Fiend, which then, lets him bridge into the Fiends with stuff. But we're going to open Turb, and then we're going to use Turb effect to send 3 to summon. And we just got some big boys to beat down. So we go Swing with the Airlifter. And so we go 34 with the Turb, 34 with the Detonator, and a bunch with the Duo Drive. So that's game 2. We take that pretty easy collapse. Sorry, Brendan. Not sorry, because you made me sit through half that combo. But yeah, I really like Rescue Ace. I think it's an interesting deck. It's just very unfortunate that it's not as consistent. Right? It just doesn't feel as good, just because you're stuck at, Airlifter's back at 3, so you can run 3 with Rhoda, but it's still, you're generally playing more than 40 cards, so 4 starters is pretty rough. But you can, with the addition of, you can run the Tachyon package, right, and run the Battling Boxer guy as a target for that. So we're going to be sitting through an unskippable cutscene here, because that hand was atrocious, and so we aren't going to be able to play here, right? Because he's going to be able to set up his full board with some pops and negates, and then he's also going to be setting up a Colossus as well. So, so he's going to go Medius the Pure to summon out the Xyz Owl. And so, so he's going to target the Medius to go ahead and Xyz and then equip that guy to it. And so Brendan explains that this deck can cheat out pretty much any wind Xyz monster. So it can play Castel and, set 3 Harpies Featherstorm and ruin anybody's day. But then he's going to pop it and add Angelic Ring, which negates the first spell that we use each turn. So that's pretty rough. Fortunately, we do have that Book of Moon, right? So we're not going to be too afraid of it. I mean, that Book of Moon still would be pretty helpful, except I believe the Xyz monster that he makes becomes untargetable based on its materials or the monsters that are attached to it. So he's going to use the thing that's going to let him destroy a card from hand and summon a monster from deck. And so he's going to go Chainlink 2, the monster in the graveyard, Chainlink 1, or I guess 3, nope, 2, I don't know numbers. But he's going to add a monster and add a spell. He's going to add the trap, which is effectively the Colossus. So he's going to set up a pretty crazy board here, right? So he's going to go Drastia to pop the card and search. And so this card makes the thing that he just searched, lets him set up a board that's untargetable, or his Xyz monster that it's equipped to is untargetable. But if it has it as equipment or material as well, then it's also going to keep it from being targeted. We were rubbing our hands there because it's like, oh, he's filling up his back row. And then he's like, I'm going to get rid of some stuff in the back row. And so he has something that's untargetable. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to start with normal summoning the Star Ryziel. We're going to go Book of Moon, targeting Star Ryziel, since we can't target his other monster. The Book of Moon's going to resolve negated due to that Angelic Ring, which is then going to let us go into Airlift, or Emergency, which is going to let us summon from deck and attribute a Rescue Ace monster. And so he's going to go Quick Effect to Xyz Summon, and so that guy is going... And so that's going to let him be untargetable and pop a card. And then it also lets him equip a monster from field or grave to it. So it's just nice removal, right? And so here we're thinking about what we want to sacrifice, right? So we're going to summon out the Airlifter, tribute the Turbulence. And so Airlifter is going to add, and he's going to flip the Colossus. Which also says that if that monster leaves the field, then he gets to Xyz something and equip something. So it's just gonna float into more stuff. And so he's gonna take the Airlifter, which is unfortunate, and that's gonna be game, right? Because I'm not gonna be able to search anything off the Ascension. He's got Called by the Grave, which is unfortunate. So we're gonna give it to him. If I give it to him, I mean he won. There's nothing that we can do. But we're going to go back and see if there's anything else that we can do here, right? So we're going to add Preventer. I don't know why I added it. That should have been summoned. Anyways, this doesn't matter anyways, so the rules are made up. Because that Preventer should have been summoned and not added. Right, so we're just seeing if this plays out any differently, and it doesn't, right? Because he has a Called by the Grave, and there's nothing that would be different here, right? So we are gonna actually call this here because I don't want to sit through the next 10 minutes of this game doing nothing. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out that other video that has the giveaway going on it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Bye!